And we are live. I'll go ahead and call to order the regular meeting of the City Council for November 4th, 2024. I spoke with Councilmember Mazzoni. He has to stay late for work, so he doesn't think he'll be able to make it. That leads us to invocation and pledge of allegiance that will be led by Councilmember Gardner.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you so much for this day and for the opportunity to come together tonight and conduct the City of Maumell's business, Lord. Father, we're thankful for the rain that we've had over this weekend, and we're so grateful for that. And we just ask that as the storms move into the state and are coming through right now, that you keep everyone safe tonight, God. And we just pray for no damage here in our area, God. And we just are, again, we're thankful for the changing of the seasons and for the rain that you're bringing us, especially, Lord, since we needed it so badly. God, thank you so much for this opportunity to be here tonight and to represent the people of Maumelle, Lord. And especially as we're in an election season and we go through our election day tomorrow, and as we've been through the last couple of weeks, we're thankful for this process that we have where the citizens can elect those that they want to represent them. And we just pray for a good day tomorrow, God, that your will be done in all things, Lord, and that we're always putting you first no matter what. We just pray for those that are put into a position of elected service, God. We just ask for wisdom for all of those that are serving now and will serve in the future, that they will always keep their residents first and serve you and make sure that we're doing the will of the people, God. Thank you for this wonderful city that we get to live in and for all those that serve us each and every day, God. And we just ask for your protection on each person here and each person that serves the city each day, Father. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We will move on to the approval of the minutes. You have a copy of the October 21st regular meeting minutes in the packet. Are there any additions or deletions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adopt the minutes.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second to adopt the minutes for the October 21st meeting. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. That brings us to the department report. I've got Courtney Dunn, Economic Development Director, set to talk. So come on down, Courtney.
Courtney Dunn, Economic Development Director, 550 Edgewood Drive. I just have a list I'm going to go down. I've kind of itemized it out. So I'm going to start with big retail recruitment. So each January, I've been going to Red River, Dallas, which is an ICSC event, which is an international commercial business. It's a huge expo is what it is. So you get to see all the new big retail businesses that are looking to come into your area. And this is a regional event, so I think it's really great for the city to attend that. So at those events, I get to set up meetings with businesses that have booths there and also just, build the connection, make that relationship. And then I follow up when I get back with available spaces that we have and what may work for them. I also bring with me a flash drive with all of our available properties on it, which include North Maumelle, the White Oak interchange, just to push our vision for those things so that they know what's going on in Maumelle and hopefully catch their attention and get them on the front end and hopefully get us that big anchor that we need for the new interchange. Small retail and commercials. So I've been working with Jacob Spears. He's with Jones AR, and he represents the town center. So you may have seen the new sign where State Farm was. It's going to be Cold Stone Creamery. Cold Stone Creamery and Amigos Mexican Restaurant should open in Maumelle before the end of the year. As most of you know, Southern Ho recently opened, as well as Pooch Point at the corner of Millwood and Club Manor. In the industrial park, I have showed the Fresenius building recently, so I showed it about 4 weeks ago. The Fresenius building, if you didn't know, is empty and it is available. So It's called Project London. They came to see it 4 weeks ago, and then we shortlisted, so they came back last week and viewed it again, so that's really exciting. And I've also been following up with them today on some specific questions that they have for that space. The ACE building, it did sell to an investor, but ACE is doing a short-term lease back on it, and it'll be available in the first quarter of 2026. So it's not empty yet. In partnership with the Maumelle Area Chamber of Commerce, we started the quarterly industrial roundtable meetings with our industrial leaders. We started that in August, and then we have another one this month. So it's a great way to build relationships with our industry leaders and hear what their concerns are, what their struggles are, and then how we can help get them the resources that they need. I'm gonna do a recap on a couple of events that we've done recently. So I hope you all made it out to the Career Connection event that we had in partnership with the Maumelle Area Chamber of Commerce. The big hit was the morning part with the students when they came. The businesses really, really loved that. There are a few kinks we need to work out to make sure everything works out better for the businesses and the kids. So got a little chaotic, but we can adjust, and we plan to have that event again next October. Upcoming Christmas events. So next Tuesday from 4 to 6 in the South Room, we're gonna have a community craft night. This was just planned today, so surprise. Tractor Supply has donated the materials we need to make Christmas globes out of, Christine, you may remember us talking about, out of the chicken wire. So they donated all the supplies we need, so we're gonna invite the community to come help us build those, and we're gonna make a whimsical nature trail on the trail that goes back behind the new playground at Lake Williston. Along with that, we've ordered some figures to go along the trail as well. Mistletoe Market is set for November 30th, and this year it'll be at the Jess Odom Community Center. All these are also on our Facebook page under events, if you forget. Christmas in the Park will be Friday, December 6th, so we've changed it up a little bit. We learned from last year, and we're kind of pivoting. So Christmas in the Park, Friday, December 6th, it'll be the Christmas tree lighting on the stage, followed by the Summit Church is going to do their train ride and their hot cocoa and popcorn, have the characters running around. It's going to be great. And then Parks and Rec will have their parade on Saturday, December 7th, just like every other year, along with the Lions Club Pancake Breakfast will be that day. Coming up, 2025, Maumelle turns 40, so I have some exciting ideas to celebrate that. Our incorporation day is June 25th, 2025, so we'll for sure have something on that day here at City Hall, and then throughout the year, I have some ideas to incorporate that in with other city events. Last on my list is the Food Truck Festival recap. We are estimating that we had about 6,000 visitors this past Saturday at Lake Williston Park. In partnership with the Maumelle Area Chamber of Commerce, this was just another event with them that proves that working together, we can incorporate things that they can't, and they can help get sponsors. So it's just working together is what works out best for everybody. It was a great event. We've had numerous positive feedbacks from all the food trucks and vendors. People are already reaching out like, when are you having another event? So we have set the date for 2025. It'll be November 1st, 2025 will be the second annual Maumelle Food Truck Festival. And Tina is gonna play a fun video that a guy who does drone footage took for us. A lot of this footage you can tell is from mainly the beginning of the event, but it did fill up all throughout the day. You can see the new playground there really good. That's all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, can you talk about there's gonna be a health facility out there? We okay?
Yeah, I was just activating your mic.
Okay. The health facility that we, are gonna get,
Mhm.
that is, gonna come in there. How did that transpire? Is that something you recruited, or were they interested in building out here, or how
That
did
is
that work?
not something that I recruited. I kind of came in, on the back end once that was already going through the realtor and stuff, but it's really exciting. I think it's great for that area, and I think it's going to bring a lot of potential retail to the area too, once that goes in. But
Okay.
once it's announced, I think we'll get a lot of hits too.
Good, thank you. Couple other questions. One of the thing, we had speaker in here from, not the Municipal League, Metro Plan, that warned us at the end of his speech. We were asking about traffic on Maumelle Boulevard and all that. He said he warned us that we could be in trouble if we don't find more of a reason to get our commuters to stay in Maumelle. And because most of them are white-collar commuters that leave, and then we have, I guess, more blue-collar workers that come in the morning. And do you have any plan on that? Is there some way, one thing he encouraged was something like getting some of these banks to put an operations center out here or something like that, that would bring that kind of workforce in here. Can you comment on that, or is that something you're working on?
I mean, I think we're competing with Little Rock on those high-paying jobs, like at the hospitals and law firms and wherever these people may work. I'm not sure how that would fit into Maumelle. I'm open to ideas if somebody wants to steer me in the right direction, but
Okay, well, I'll be happy to make the
Yeah.
first steering motion
I
on
mean,
that.
when I visit the industries, I'm always asking, where do you live? Like, I would love for, all of our industry people to live in Maumelle. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think just continuing our community development efforts and encouraging people to live, play, and work in Maumelle.
Yeah, hopefully you can, do you get out and press the flesh? Do you take people to dinner and stuff like that, or actively recruit in that kind of a thing here in central Arkansas?
Yes, I'm always actively recruiting. I have not taken anybody to dinner, but, I work a lot, with our state partners and our metro area partners, and we work together. When we have people coming in to look, they let me know when the big project is coming, and they help us with that.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, that Metro Plan guy was suggesting just anybody that could, when they're needing more square footage, like Bank OZK opened a new facility out on Cantrell. Maybe we should have been in the hunt for that, or
Right.
whatever. That's, probably several years ago that
Yeah.
they did that, but made that decision. But anyway, that's the kind of thing hopefully we can get.
Okay.
And anyway, what about Track D? Do you know what's going on there? Is that still owned by
It's
Keith
still owned-
Richardson?
Keith Richardson. It's my understanding that he's still planning on moving forward with something. We're just not really on the high priority list yet. He's got a lot of projects going on. So once he makes his way down to us, I'm sure he'll submit some plans, but nothing has been submitted yet.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Councilmember Gardner?
Thank you, sir. Courtney, just wanted to give you and Kelly with the chamber a huge shout out for the Food Truck Festival. I didn't know what to expect when I walked up.
We
and-
didn't either.
Yeah, and I think that's what was pretty awesome about it. I don't think really anybody did, right? And when I
Right.
showed up, it was probably early when those drone videos were being taken, and there were clearly no drone videos from later because
Right.
it was wall-to-wall people. Seeing the vendors shut down early because they were sold out, had no more food. It's fantastic from a food truck perspective because they want to sell out. But huge success and just another amazing event for Lake Willistine. It's such a perfect place for something like that. So after the eclipse and then with this, it was a huge success. So
Thank you.
I'm really glad that was put on, and I'm glad we got a new date for next year.
Yes.
So thank y'all. Thank you, Kelly.
Councilmember Grunwald?
This is more of a comment than a question, but kind of to your point, I find it really interesting that after COVID, myself and at least two of my neighbors, we're all hybrid workers. So I don't think there's any way to collect that data, but I would venture to say that there are a lot of people actually now that are working hybrid. I only go into the office, which is in Little Rock, one day a week. So I work from home. So I think there are more people that are still working from home and working in Maumelle, that would be considered white collar, I guess. So I just wanted to offer that, I think there's more out there than what we know.
Yeah.
But, I was not able to go to the food truck festival because I had a work obligation. I'm really sad because I saw everything on social media. So it looked amazing and I can't wait for next year. So congratulations to everybody. That looked phenomenal.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Courtney. Next up is the Planning Commission report. That will be Councilmember Gronwald.
Okay. I think most everything is on our agenda today, so I feel really repetitive and redundant, and but I'll tell you what I got. So the announcements first at the top of the meeting were just to kind of reiterate, make sure that everybody knew that there is a planning commissioner position open and it has been posted. There was an approval of the September minutes. There were no public comments. In old business, it was the CAU-24-4 about the 550 Edgewood Drive. Excuse me. And that was actually tabled until next meeting. Just some slight wording changes on that they talked about. It's regarding a drainage ordinance. And they were talking about flood event versus storm event. So that's been tabled until next meeting. The new business was STP-24-4, and that's about 204 Paws Lane, where Energy is trying to build, to own some of that, and it's a variance request is what it is. No action was required for that. And then there was sub 2415, and that's regarding the Church of Maumelle. I think that's in our packet today. That's on 103 Audubon Drive. There were 3 different specific issues brought up about the proposed preliminary development plan, the proposed landscape plan, and the proposed commercial building design, all of which were approved by the Planning Commission, and I believe are in our packet for tonight. That's it.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Mosley?
Yeah, is the planning commission vacancy, did somebody resign or do we just have a term that's up?
They said that somebody resigned effective immediately.
Okay,
Correct.
all right, thank you.
It's not a secret, it's, Hall Ramsey, his work obligations are preventing him from being able to be part of the commission.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that brings us to a procedural motion. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to have all ordinances and resolutions read by title only.
So moved. Second.
I've got a motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. That brings us to unfinished business. The first item of unfinished business is the third reading of ordinance 1136 to amend the zoning map for the Mayberry property. Madam City Clerk, if you could please read that by title only.
Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Maumelle, County of Pulaski, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled Ordinance Number 1136, an ordinance to amend the city's zoning map for 35.7 acres more or less along White Oak Crossing and for other purposes.
Motion to approve ordinance 1136.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Mosley,
Yes,
Councilmember Gronwald,
Yes.
Councilmember Gardner,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Councilmember Tierney,
Yes.
Councilmember Shin,
Yes.
Councilmember Holt.
Yes.
Motion passes. Ordinance 1136 is adopted. That brings us to the third reading of ordinance 1137 to amend the land use plan. Madam City Clerk, if you could please read that by title only.
Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Maumelle, County of Pulaski, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled Ordinance Number 1137, an ordinance to amend the city's land use plan map for Track 3, split of Good Samaritan Track 103 Audubon Drive, and for other purposes.
All right, thank you. I'll go ahead and open the floor for discussion.
Motion to approve ordinance 1137.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Mosley?
Yeah, I have not been able to go to the planning commission meetings on this issue here. The land use, and then we also have an accompanying item here tonight that would go ahead and approve a preliminary development plan. And I'm going to be for this. I have asked around a little bit to try to find out, but there was apparently no residents that are still in any quandary over this project. Apparently, there was some moderate concern from the residents about drainage coming down into the neighborhood next door. But from what I understand, there's a good solution that keeps that from happening. So, from what I understand, everybody else is happy. So I'll be voting for this and the other item tonight. Thank you.
Any additional discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Shin,
Yes.
Councilmember Tierney,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams, Councilmember Gardner,
Yes.
Councilmember Grunwald, Councilmember Mosley,
Yes.
Motion passes. Ordinance 1137 is adopted. That brings us to the third reading of ordinance 1138, amending the master street plan. Madam City Clerk, if you could please read that by title only.
make it a little bigger. Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Maumelle, County of Pulaski, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled Ordinance Number 1139, an ordinance to establish and lay off the City of Maumelle's municipal property owners multipurpose improvement district.
Ordinance 1138.
Just making sure you guys are paying attention. Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Maumelle, County of Pulaski, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled Ordinance Number 1138, an ordinance to amend the city's master street plan and for other purposes. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and open the floor for discussion. I'd entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 1138. Motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Councilmember Mosley?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was looking at the proposed map again, and I was pleased. I was looking to make sure we were putting some streets that go parallel to the I-430, so that we could maybe have some frontage businesses at some point that could be seen from the highway. And it looks like there's room to do that, and it looks like Mr. Grummer's factoring that in there, from what I can tell. Thank you, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Shin,
Yes.
Councilmember Tierney,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams, Councilmember Gardner,
Yes.
Councilmember Grunwald, Councilmember Mosley.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 1138 is adopted. That brings us to the second reading of ordinance 1139, establishing improvement district number 2024-01. Madam City Clerk, if you could please read that by title only.
Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Maumelle, County of Pulaski, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled Ordinance Number 1139, an ordinance to establish and lay off the City of Maumelle's municipal owners multipurpose improvement district number 2024-01, Stone Canyon Project, and for other purposes.
All right, I'll open the floor for discussion. This is on second reading. If there's nothing further, it'll be on third reading at the next city council meeting. Madam City Clerk, if you could please give us the second reading of ordinance 1140, establishing improvement district number 2024-02.
Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Maumelle, County of Pulaski, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled ordinance number 1140, an ordinance to establish and lay off the City of Maumelle's Municipal District Multipurpose Improvement District number 2024-02, Cypress Bend Project, and for other purposes.
I'll go ahead and open the floor for discussion. Councilmember Mosley.
Yeah, I'll be interested to be here for the hearing on November 18th and see, make sure all the requirements have been met. As I understand it, you almost have to do this before any lots are sold and that sort of thing. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? Seeing none, this will be on third reading at the next city council meeting. Which brings us to new business. Our sole item of new business is resolution 2024-41, approving a preliminary development plan. Madam City Clerk, if you could please read that by title only.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Maumelle, County of Pulaski, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled Resolution Number 2024-41, a resolution to approve a preliminary development plan for a proposed Church of Maumelle on Track 3, split of Good Samaritan Track 103 Audubon Drive, and for other purposes.
All right, this is the preliminary development plan for the land use for the property that we just addressed in the land use plan map. I'll open the floor for discussion. Councilmember Mosley.
Yeah, I've got a question. The proposed development there really takes up the whole lot, and my question is, are there going to be any trees from that very treed lot still standing when this is over with?
Mr. Grummer.
Scott Grummer, Director of Planning and Permits. There shouldn't be very many trees left on the lot. It looks like it's going to be mostly parking and the building with some green space.
Okay. Did you have any concern with the facility taking up that much of the lot, or is that normal?
Well, for a commercial property, it's typically normal, so
Okay.
We don't have any concerns. They've as mentioned earlier, the drainage has been addressed, which was the primary concern of the residents, and all the residents, there wasn't any opposition from any of the residential property owners because of the use would probably be the lightest and easiest use, less impact on the residential.
Okay. Could you elaborate just briefly on how the drainage was finally, how everybody finally got happy with the drainage?
So they'll be detaining the 100-year storm on the southeast corner of the property, which is right behind the residential lots and right next to that Luke Court. So all the drainage, and then they'll connect into the existing underground drainage that's on Luke Court. So there will be a little off-site improvements that'll be needed in order to make that connection. But the engineering firm, Hollow Engineering, who engineered Carnahan Village, reviewed the plans, and they were satisfied with the connection and how it was going to work.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Councilmember Williams.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2024-41.
I've got a motion and a second. Is there any additional discussion on the motion to approve resolution 2024-41? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. That concludes new business. And we'll move on to mayor's comments. Really quickly, don't forget about Election Day tomorrow. So we do have one city race. Good luck to the candidates. The second item is just a reminder, the budget meeting that we currently had, or that was previously scheduled for tomorrow night, is moved to Thursday night in the Blue Room at 6 PM. That's an open public meeting, and it will be streamed on YouTube for those that are particularly gluttons for punishment. I wanted to address currently the third budget meeting we had scheduled for Tuesday the 12th. Because we're backing up this meeting, it would be helpful if we also backed up the third meeting and just bumped that to Thursday the 14th. Does that conflict with anyone? Is there a time next week that works better? The 12th?
Or the 13th. Well, no, better not do the 13th. That's kind of difficult, because I'm leaving super early.
Coming Thursday, we've got one that's coming Thursday, this coming, maybe the one the following.
I'm open for input, and we can stick with the Tuesday, but if there's any changes that get made at the at the budget meeting in Thursday, that's really not a whole lot of time to make those changes, and then submit the budget back to y'all. But I'm fine with either dates, as long as we're not making a whole bunch of changes. Open the floor. Anyone have thoughts? Okay, we'll keep it on the second. Next item is the food truck festival. I just wanted to, it's still the 12th. We're not changing it. The food truck festival was a big hit for those that got out there. It was really surprising. Shout out to the chamber. Y'all did an amazing job with volunteers running everything. To Courtney, Deb, from my office, chipped in a whole lot. And of course, you know, it was at a park, so Parks was involved, but it largely, through the work of the volunteers, chamber, and folks, we were able to really minimize what they had to do. Police fire were out there, but all in all, great event. It's great to see that area being used, so thank you to all of y'all. I'll open the floor for council member comments. Councilmember Shin.
2 points. I had somebody reach out to me with all the discussion about not being able to keep things mowed and cut, and asking why we couldn't do butterfly gardens on some of the easements so that it wouldn't require as much maintenance from the city. So I said I would bring it to you. And second, I know the city's aware of the lighting problem on North Odom. I just wondered if we have an update.
I submitted that. I'm not quite sure what is going on. We think a circuit's out. I'm not sure if Mike Hogan is still here or not. But yeah, it's something we're aware of and working on.
All right, sir.
Councilmember Mosley.
Yeah. I wanted to follow up. We had in our meeting a couple of months ago there, we talked about the accounting and how things worked as far as the splash pad and the all-inclusive playground, and ended up having a pretty good discussion about that. And so anyway, I think the mayor agreed with me, and I think probably the city attorney, that the money that's left over at the Timmons Art Foundation needed to come over to the city here to close the books on everything, so that it could be applied to the construction of those two facilities. And at this point, it's still sitting there at the Timmons Art Foundation. I've been checking with Mr. Rayburn here every month or 2 weeks, and just finding out what the intent is there. And he said that the intent is to send it over to the city, and he apparently, you know, he's pretty much been able to write checks and do things on that account. I think he's just been managing it to his own judgment. And but for whatever reason, he doesn't apparently have full judgment on this one. So, but anyway, he said that Ms. Timmons is supposed to be sending that over, and in fact, he thought she might be coming to tonight's council meeting and bringing a check just to go ahead and get that cleared up. But she's not here, so I'll probably be checking with Mr. Rayburn again. I really do feel like we need to get that over here and close that out. Thank you.
Mr. City Attorney?
Perhaps I was misunderstood, Mr. Mosley, but I've not said that the Timmons Art Foundation is required to send to the city a balance of funds that were not used for the city project. We haven't been able to find any kind of written agreement we had for the fundraising project where they were a partner with the city, I guess, to help raise funds for this, but the city certainly accepts donations. So if Timmons Art Foundation wants to donate that money to the city, obviously the city will accept it, but, or we can spend it on the project. But I don't know of a legal requirement that a private organization, without any kind of accompanying contract or agreement, is required to then donate the remainder of the funds to the city.
I would tend to agree, Mr. City Attorney. I do also think that that money should be turned over. I'm fully confident the money will either be turned over to the city or will be used for additional enhancements at the playground. I'm not worried about that in any way, shape, or form. I think that the condition of the playground is good to go, and we should be seeing that money here soon. But I don't think there's any legal requirement to that. Councilmember Shin?
In mentioning the all-inclusive playground, I had someone.
If you could speak into your mic a little bit more. Thank you.
I had someone speak to me about the all-inclusive playground, and they said that the wheelchair accessibility going into the park. Now, I've not been by to look at it, and I've only been out there once, so in the last couple months. But they said that there was some issues with transporting wheelchairs across and into the park, and wanted me to ask us to look into that. And so I needed, since that came up, it reminded me that I didn't go up there this weekend and look like I said I would. So
Thank you. We'll look into that. We have some, the primary entrance for the wheelchairs is through the handicap spots that we have on Lake Point Place. I'm not sure what we have, if anything, with the little cut through going from the library over. We added that sidewalk in. There is one there too? Okay. I'll look into it. Thank you. Councilmember Mosley?
Yeah, Mr. City Attorney, I'm sorry, I did misspeak on that. I was thinking about your original comment where if you had been a city attorney at the time, you would have recommended against that arrangement, or else had them, once they stopped their fundraising, to just go ahead and donate that money over to the city. I think you'd said that. But I do understand your lawyerly need to say something there, so thank you on that. But I think Ms. Grunwald made a point there in that meeting 2 months ago. I actually reviewed that meeting again because a lot was said. And she said that 501c3s have to spend the money on what the intended donation was about. And so to really get that done, the Timmons Art Foundation really needs to send that over to the city so it can be applied to the construction. Anyway, if I misunderstood that, let me know, Ms. Grunwald, but I think that needs to happen, so thank you.
Councilmember Grunwald?
No, you remember that correctly. So there are restricted and unrestricted gifts with a 501c3 nonprofit. And so if somebody gives a gift that is intended for XYZ, that has to be honored. But I think that's where we're getting, gosh, that's loud. I feel loud. Do I sound loud? But I think that's where we're getting into a little bit of confusion. So the donations that were given, that it is now housed through the Timmons Foundation, were not given to the city. The intent was not given to the city. The intent was given to the playground. So in other words, moving that money, you can do that if you want, and that's fine. And the city can be the vehicle to, for upkeep or improvements of the playground, and that would be the intent of those donations. But that money, just to be clear, that money does not belong to the city. I just want to be clear about that.
Councilmember Mosley?
Yeah, one of my concerns about all this, and the city attorney and I have argued that point that he made to begin with here, because it was so specifically said explicitly that to donate to the construction of those two entities, you were to write a check out payable to Timmons Art Foundation, and it was received by a city employee who then deposited it into the Timmons Art Foundation. So the deal, as the donors understood, were it was just being done that way as a mechanism to get it to build the playground. And 3/4 of the money has been spent apparently on those two facilities from that one account, but there is still $45,000 left. So anyway, that is a concern to me. We need to do right by the donors and make sure that they know that all 100% of their money made it to the construction of those two facilities. Thank you.
Any additional council member comments? Councilmember Gronwald?
To that point, I think it would be just as appropriate if the committee for the playground were to open up a checking account. It would be as appropriate to open up a checking account. I'm not saying we want to do that, but because I served on that committee as well. But I'm just saying it would be as appropriate to open up an account to house that money if we just wanted to get it out of the Timmons Foundation for some reason, as it would be appropriate to give it to the city, just for clarification.
Any additional council member comments? City attorney comments? No, sir. City clerk comments?
Yes, I'll be brief.
Madam City Clerk?
If you guys could just, be aware of, we are closed for Veterans Day next week. We'll be having a ceremony hosted by the Lions Club, so you guys make sure to attend. And then pointing out again that we do have an opening on the Planning Commission, and we are still accepting applications, resumes, letters of interest, and those candidates will be interviewed at the next City Council meeting.
Thank you very much. If there's nothing further, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn the city council meeting of November the 4th, 2024. And if I may be permitted to say so, that tomorrow I will be celebrating only my 88th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. 88. Do I hear a second? Second. I got a motion. A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying yes. Yes. All opposed, no. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you very much.